All right, so got a bit of the frame. What we're thinking about doing is using this as part of the roof rack. So first, we're gonna use my patented forklift extensions. And we're gonna lift the bed off and put that safely away so we can cut and grind and weld on that. All right, so we got the old bed off, or the old new bed off, and we got the old frame. And now we're gonna go ahead and clean it up. We're gonna take the gooseneck off, we're gonna there, and then at some point we'll hack that off or hack that this way. Undecided on this. May remove this, may not. It sure would fit better without it, but that's a little bit extra grinding. So we're gonna start that process, and I'm gonna time lapse that so you don't have to sit through tons and tons and tons of sparks and noise. Alright, so got that cut off on both sides. May or may not use that later, I'm not sure. But thinking we're gonna cut these off next maybe. Or we may just go ahead and roughly measure and start cutting this off. That's the trailer hitch down there, so we'll go ahead and lop that off. We don't need that anymore. And we'll start mitering and welding some cuts and test fit, see what happens. Alright, so we're using a wood jig, because the wood jig weighs a fraction of a pound, to test against our 75-pound steel that we've notched and bent. All right, so that's the frame we cut off. It's roughly down about 7 feet, which is still too long, but it'll get final trimmed up here after we tack it into place on the cross beams. It took a lot longer than it should have, because I would say each beam weighs probably 85, 90 pounds, hard to say. We'll basically just cut little pies out, heat with the torch, bend it, test bit, bend it, test bit, bend it, test bit. So let that cool. They're actually pretty dang straight. We'll let that cool off, and we'll come back and I'll weld back some pie pieces, or just fill weld those to where they're locked in that bent position. And then come back and decide what we're gonna do with these holes. Some of them will probably leave for bolting things. Some of them will probably just weld and fill in, and then sand the whole thing down. Then we'll come up with a header bar to go from left to right across the pieces, and then ease into a roof rack, which will hold the 300-pound spare tire. So, see what comes next.